Welcome to the 100 Photos channel. We are glad to see you again and wish you a pleasant viewing of our new video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new videos, and you will also help achieve my dream of 100,000 subscribers.
1945. The Bachenbach 349 Natter, a German late World War II rocket-powered VTOL interceptor. A crowd of African-American immigrants boards a ship bound for Liberia, New York, the 21st of March 1896. Yvonne Craig in the 1960s. A family out for a ride in the UK during the 1930s. Yul Brynner arrived in style at the premiere of The Ten Commandments in his Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Roadster. 1956. Nicole Kidman, 1995. A worker carries a sack across a beam working on a 71-story skyscraper in New York City, 1930. Wojtek the bear was adopted by Polish soldiers. He was officially made a soldier so that the army would provide him with rations and transportation. Eventually, he was even promoted to corporal. Claudette Colbert in Cleopatra 1934. Waiting passengers, Concourse of Grand Central Terminal, New York, 1959. Joan Crawford 1932. What was thought the family of the future would look like, 1963. Dolores Morancy, 1942. Woman displays the foods she's canned. In total 857 fruits, vegetables, jellies, pickles, and meats, 1931. Union soldier with his family, 1864. Young men carrying rods of pasta to rooms for drying. Italy, 19 for 7. Photo by Alfred Eisenstadt. Linda Harrison, late 1960s. U.S. cavalry soldiers pose in front of a tree known as the Grizzly. 1900. The tree still stands. 1068 x 1302. U.S. Marines in Beiping, China readies for deployment to lift the siege in Peking during the Boxer Rebellion. C. June 1900. a French boy introducing himself to Indian soldiers in Marseille, France during WW1. The aftermath of the Tulsa Massacre, 1921. Queen Maud of Norway in one of her famously fashionable dresses, 1909. A Japanese boy tagged for evacuation to a Japanese internment camp, Salinas, California, May 1942. Barbara Walters during her freshman year at Sarah Lawrence College in 1949. A British soldier gives German prisoners the V during 8th Army's victory at the Second Battle of El Alamein, the 26th of October, 1942. After missing the Rockaway Express as it left Times Square, Jazbo the Clown waited for the next train. 1958. Sir Winston Churchill, in 1895, age 20. Today in 1926, Henry Ford announces the 8-hour, 5-day work week. Sikhs arriving in France in 1914 during WW1. "77 years ago today, tears streamed down the cheeks of accordion-playing Chief Petty Officer Graham Jackson as President Franklin D. Roosevelt's flag-draped funeral train left Warm Springs, Georgia, on April 13, 1945. Actress Marilyn Hare set out to kiss 10,000 soldiers in order to raise the morale of troops fighting in World War II. On her first day, she kissed 733 men. 1942, by John Floria. Actress Marilyn Monroe poses for the camera, wearing a potato sack dress in response to an article calling her fashion taste cheap and vulgar. 1951. On this day in 1917 began the February Revolution to overthrow Tsar Nicholas II in Russia. Richard White Bull, Oglala Sioux, 1899. White protesters joining the March on Washington, D.C. during the Civil Rights Movement, August 1963. An Aboriginal Australian man with his prized hunting dog, 1950. Russian conscript with his family before being deployed to the front, Kharkiv, Bryansk, Russia, 1943. A Japanese samurai striking a combat pose, circa 1860s. Woman hanging washing to dry, 1947. 12-year-old Sergeant John Lincoln Clem, American Civil War, 1863. Atelier photo, a lesbian couple in semi-drag wedding attire. Kingdom of Hungary, Budapest, 1920. Black Tuesday aka stock market crash of 1929. A Papua New Guinean native Fuzzy was the angel, as they were called by the Australians, guiding an injured Australian soldier. Christmas Day, 1942. A French man reacts to trying Coca-Cola for the first time, 1950s. The last public execution by guillotine? France, 1939. A younger George Lucas and a young Mark Hamill standing together on the set of A New Hope in Tunisia, 1976. A Moment Before Happiness, Romania, 1955. Teenage Soldier, Saigon, South Vietnam, 1968. Sergio Leone behind the scenes of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, 1966. An East German soldier passing a flower through the Berlin Wall before it was torn down, 1989. Rudyard Kipling, author of The Jungle Book, 1895. Stoney First Nation member, Guide Samson Beaver with his wife Leah and their daughter Frances Louise, 1907. Photo taken by Mary Sheffer. President Harry S. Truman looking down the barrel of M1 Garand during an inspection of a Marines barracks in Washington State, 1948. A man exercises using a rowing machine in the gym aboard the RMS Titanic, 1912. Abraham Lincoln lying in state in New York City Hall on April 24, 1865. On this day, 71 years ago, the 22nd of April 1951, British, Belgium, Luxembourg, Philippines, and South Korean troops held the Imjin River against overwhelming Chinese forces, aiming to break through to recapture Seoul. A family poses at their home in rural Lexington, Tennessee, in 1936. Teddy Roosevelt's 1907 hunting guide Ben Lilly. Belle Epoque dancer Cleota Marode, considered by many to be the most beautiful woman of her time, 1890s. Stevie Wonder visiting a children's school for the blind in London, 1970. A 1910 photo of a truck driver. This truck driver's photo was taken in 1910. Location unknown. What a great photo. From my glass negative collection. 32 years ago. The beginning of the Romanian Revolution in Bucharest, the 21st of December 1989. Russian and Austro-Hungarian officers during the ceasefire on the Eastern Front, 1917. "77 years ago today, the death of Adolf Hitler was reported on the front page of Stars and Stripes. Here, G. is of the 4th Infantry Division read the good news, May 2, 1945. To sisters selling flags during World War I to raise money for Indian soldiers, circa 1914-18. Colorized French little girl with 3 American admirers. Normandy, France, June 22, 1944. Anne Frank and her sister Margot at the beach. Zandvoort, August 1940. Wyatt Earp in 1923 at the age of 75. American film actress Veronica Lake illustrates what can happen to women war workers who wear their hair long while working at their benches in a factory somewhere in America on November 9, 1943. Queen Elizabeth II addresses a vast gathering of more than 250,000 in India, 1961. Shackleton's ship called Endurance during the Imperial Expedition to Antarctica, c. 1916, taken by Frank Hurley. President Jimmy Carter personally inspecting the 3 Mile Island facility just days after the initial accident occurred, April 1, 1979. A smiling girl in a kimono on New Year's Day, Japan, 1914. "100 years ago today on Veterans Day, November 11, 1921, the tomb of the unknown soldier was dedicated by President Warren G. Harding. 2 of the biggest names in Japanese cinema history, actor Toshiro Mifune and director Akira Kurosawa on the set of 7 Samurai, 1954. This Japanese man's photo was taken circa early 1900s, location taken unknown, from my glass negative collection. Wehrmacht officers surrendering to the Norwegian resistance, May 1945. Average American family, Detroit, Michigan, 1954. All this on a Ford factory worker's wages. This boy's photo was taken in Los Angeles, California, circa 1920s, a stately pose, from my glass negative collection. 20-year-old Joe DiMaggio, having some of his mom Rosalie spaghetti, 1936. This photograph was taken somewhere in New Jersey or Pennsylvania. This class photo is full of interesting faces, taken circa early 1900s, from my glass negative collection. World War II German railgun firing, 1944. WW1 Waring and Gillow Munitions Factory, Cambridge Road, Hammersmith, London. Men loading aircraft components onto a trolley at the Waring and Gillow factory and depository in Hammersmith. A scene of a prisoner escaping, United States, 1913. An Empire State Builder hanging on a crane above New York City, 1930. Amazing photo of a family in 1908. Looks like the little boy has a rifle. A one-room schoolhouse, 1923. An actual photo of Theodore Roosevelt and John Muir at Yosemite, 1903. A trolley in snow in Monroe County, New York, 1900s. A Sami woman, toddler, and infant in Lapland, Finland, 1917. A New York construction worker walks along a girder high above the city streets, circa 1950. A New York City police officer poses hanging in Times Square, 1920. Aerial view of the World Trade Center and East River in New York City, taken on March 16, 1971. Actress Marilyn. "77 years ago."